guys, welcome back with your host over here at my channel, Jenna, as you guys all know. So today I figured I would talk about another movie. I've actually already spoken about this movie, but it was when I was first really starting to do my videos and everything, and I was still kind of nervous about doing these and everything, so the video was really kind of bland and it was just kind of like this and so I kind of wanted to revisit this movie because this is one of those movies that I love and I hold very near and dear to my heart. And I unfortunately I didn't first see this movie or even knew of it until about 8-ish years ago. And I unfortunately, because I'd actually first came across this movie um, when I viewed the documentary Going to Pieces, The Rise and Fall of Slasher Movies. Um, but, interesting little side note though, I remember like when I was a kid, when I used to go to the video store, I remember vividly seeing the covers to the sequel to this movie, but I don't ever remember coming across this movie. Maybe I just wasn't like paying attention. I don't know. But that movie is the 1983 cult classic Sleepaway Camp. Like I said, I never had seen this until about 8 years ago, but saw it and fell in love with this movie. And with that being said, too, because like I said, I first came across this movie, or at least made aware of it, when I watched that Going to Pieces documentary. Um, and unfortunately, though, with that out, but there is a lot of spoilers to a lot of movies in that documentary. So unfortunately, I knew about the twist ending at the end. And with that being said, if you guys have never seen this, you don't even know what the twist ending is, stop me right now. Stop me right now. Um, so, but yeah, I just wanted to get my little, like, alert out there in case if, you guys don't know what this is about or have never seen it. Because, I really wish I would have, seen this movie without knowing the ending, because that ending, oh, I wish I could go back in time, watch this movie without any knowledge of this movie or the ending, and kind of know what it was like to get to the end of this movie and be like, what? What? Crazy ending. Not that many movies in general have I ever really had a reaction where I was genuinely like, and I wish I would have had that experience with this movie. But nonetheless, I still love this movie. I love this movie, and I know it's a very cheesy 80s horror movie, but that's something that I love about it. It's very 80s, just even down to like the fashion and everything. Like so many of the guys who are kind of like, kind of beefy, little ripped and everything. Like they would have those like the guys would have like those like cut off like shirts and everything, almost like midriffs and like cut off sleeves and everything, and like the like super short shorts and everything, like the god, the one counselor, like the head counselor, oh my god, his red tiny little shorts, dude, that like barely kept his package contained. Like, my god, jeez, looks like freaking like huge like walnuts or something down there, like gigantic walnuts down there. Yep. But yeah, this movie, just everything about it. Like I said, it's one of those like cheesy '80s movies that I love. Um, and this actually has spawned one, two, three full sequels, and then there's a partial sequel that Sleepaway Camp 4: The Survivor, which was never completed. I think they only ended up getting like a couple of shots in before the company Double Helix just went completely bankrupt and like closed down shop. So that's why I was like, three legit sequels, full length movies. Um, the Survivor one, though, I would probably suggest don't buy it unless if you're like a true like completionist or anything, because it's really just it's really not, like I said, it's not a complete movie or anything. So I would say don't spend the money on it unless if you're like just a completionist and you're kind of like it's one of those things that you would like to have in your collection. So like I have it in my collection, but I just I'm enough of a horror fan where it's like stuff like that I like to have. Going back to the humor, there's some of my favorite lines in this movie. For example, when the kids are playing baseball in the field, um, in there's like a group of older kids against like a group of like kind of like younger kids, like few years younger. Um, like it's like 13-year-olds versus like 16-year-olds. So it's not like really older kids and like really like young kids, like little 8-year-olds or anything. They're kind of like trash talking to each other back and forth. And one of the older kids is coming up to bat, and the kid Ricky, who was played by Jonathan Tiersten, who, fun little fact, was actually 18 when he played Ricky in this movie. Fun little fact. I don't know how many of you know that. I'm sure a lot of you know that, though. Um, they were, like I said, they were kind of trash talking back and forth, and the older, or I should say, Ricky said something to this older kid, Bill, and Bill just replies, "Eat shit and die, Ricky." And Ricky, who, that kid's got a pretty good performance in this movie, Jonathan Tiersten, just looks at him straight faced and goes, "Eat shit and live, Bill." Love that line. Love it. Um, and then there's another line in this. There's so many lines in this movie that I love. Like one of the older kids is like kind of racing into the cabin, and all the other kids are like, "Hey man, we're gonna go play baseball. Hey, you're gonna come and play baseball with us?" And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, man, I'll be there in a minute, man. I gotta go take a wicked dump." Uh, like seriously, like I'm sure like quite a few of you out there have said that in your time when you're like trying to go take a dump and you're just like, "I gotta go take a wicked." But yeah, the good lines like that and everything. And it's got some good kills. It has some good kills. Like the first kill, the cook at the beginning who is boiling that like ridiculously huge pot of water for like corn or something, and gets like boiled, like, oh, and like the makeup on that, I know it's like so kind of like simple and everything, but it's like every time they go like cut away and come back to him, he's like just a little, worse, a little more burned and everything. And it just, oh, like every time I see that, I always think like, oh my God, oh, I feel for this guy. Like that's just gotta freaking burn and hurt. Oh, just my entire body just literally burns with him because just the thought of that just, oh, feel for that cook. Even though he was a skis, he was a dirty, dirty skis. Okay, he deserved it, but that's still like, um, or God, oh, how about that girl with the really like super long hair who gets the curling iron up her woo woo. Yes, I said woo woo. Just oh, and the thing is too, because like you see that like she's curling hair and everything, and you see that it's like still on because she had put it down on like a pillow or something, and you see like a little edge of like a burn mark from the curling iron, and you know that it went up her lady parts because the killer put the pillow over her head so it can muffle her scream. So there's only one other place that thing's going. and there's a sizzle, so you know it's not the butt. Just saying. Just saying. That's another one that kind of gets me. I turn into a guy whenever a guy like when guys see another guy get like his balls like kicked. It's just like, oh, ow, ow, hurts. But just yeah, stuff like that. Really good kills in this. Really, really good kills. And oh, and interesting little side note too on on the kill scenes, like the hands that we see in that it's actually Jonathan Tiersten's hands because Felissa Rose's mom, like I said, this was her first movie and everything, and like her mom was okay with her doing this horror movie. She's like, okay, I get it. I get that my daughter, spoilers coming up. I get that my daughter is, gonna be in this horror movie. I understand that her role, it's going to be revealed that she's the killer and everything. I'm okay with that. But the one thing that I am a little leery about, I don't want to come off as like a diva stage mom or anything, but because she is only 13 years old and given the subject matter, I'm not comfortable with her like participating in the kill scenes. And like the director and everything was kind of like, you know what, no, we understand, we get it. We'll have Jonathan Tiersten do it since he is 18 and everything. He's of age. He has a better understanding of like reality and everything. Even though like Felissa Rose, yeah, at 13, understood like this is all pretend and everything. She had a pretty level head, but her mom just didn't, with her still being so young, didn't want to maybe have like any psychological damage or anything. Like I said, she knew, both her and her mom knew kind of like what this role entailed and everything, but they kind of knew where to draw the line. And I think that's actually a really good thing. It was a good thing that they actually did this because with the ending that we have, which I'll get into in a minute, it's like very muscular hands. It's like manly hands. And it's for a petite little 13-year-old girl. It's not what you'd think of for a little 13-year-old girl. So it really kind of throws us off a little bit. And I feel like it's a good segue for like because I don't know how many of you are aware of this like fan theory, but there's the fan theory of that there's the two killer aspect. A lot of people think that both Angela and Ricky were actually both killing people, kind of like they were tag teaming it and like killing these different kids that were picking on Angela and everything. So I think that's kind of interesting. It's just my own little opinion though. And for the longest time too, I have to say, because I heard that theory like quite some time ago, and for like a while I was like, no, that's stupid. But it's like, no, now I'm kind of coming around like, that'd be really interesting to, have two killers. That would be kind of cool. Especially too, now that we have like the Blu-ray version and everything, when they have Ricky kind of standing in as the killer, because they would put like this terrible wig on him and everything if his head was like in the shot, like the back of his head or anything. This horrible wig. There is a scene where he's like in the doorway of one of the cabins and it's like backlit, and you could totally tell, especially with this transfer, that it's a Ricky. Like, I know the original transfer, like from VHS, I think maybe even the DVD. I should check out the DVD version of this on my pack, because I've got the DVD Blu-ray combo. I should see if it's like clear enough to tell that it's Ricky. I should double check it. But I think I think it does kind of play into there could have been two killers. I think that really would have worked. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if we, I don't think we necessarily need another Sleepaway Camp movie. Certainly we do not need a Sleepaway Camp remake at all. Don't ever remake this movie, ever. But, it would be interesting to see if we had, like almost like a prequel, or maybe one um, that was like a maybe not like a prequel to the first one, but maybe like a prequel or a direct sequel, another direct sequel to the first one, like one that's like in between Sleepaway Camp 1 and 2, Sleepaway Camp version 1.2. I don't know, whatever, whatever. That might kind of see like the uh, trial and error, not trial and error, kind of like the story and stuff, like more of a backstory between the two and like what maybe really happened and uh, what was going on between like the 5 years, 5 or 6 years between the first one and the second one, because a lot of stuff happened between those two when you watch the second one. I think that'd be kind of interesting to see. I honestly, I would kind of be interested in seeing that. Um, Although they could probably do it, and it's probably gonna suck if they did do that. Whatever. Um, but yeah, yeah. So with that also being said too, because I said I was gonna get into the ending in a minute, and that was like 5 minutes ago. Whatever. So yeah, so the ending that like I said, I unfortunately had spoiled for myself because I'd seen that documentary. You know, like I said, I think that is one of like the best twist endings that I've ever seen. Um, and that is that little Angela, um, wasn't the little girl that survived the accident, the boating accident with her and her family like 8 years before. She was actually the little boy. And when she wants to go live with her Aunt Martha and I almost said Uncle Ricky, that would almost like happen. I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up being like her uncle. Weird ass movie. No, that is actually weird. That's sick. And her cousin Ricky, I guess Ricky, we found out was like with his father that weekend or something, that the little boy came home. Peter came home, his new home to Aunt Martha. That she had always wanted a little girl, and you know, with this little boy Peter coming after losing his family, the choice was made for him against his will, because you know he was like I said, like 7 or something, and or no, younger than that, 8 years, like 7 ish, 6. We'll go 6. You know, not understanding what was going on, you know, his aunt told him, like, you know what, we're gonna make you a girl, we're gonna dress you up as a girl, and your name's gonna be Angela. Like, who the F does that? What aunt does that? A sicko, like Aunt Martha. Um, but yeah, it just, oh, that's a whole another subject matter, for that movie. Jeez, like I said, because this little kid, like against his will, by his aunt, is now being forced to dress like a little girl. So of course, by like 13, you know, when you know society tells us that, hey, you know, boys are supposed to be into girls and girls are supposed to be into guys. You know, very taboo, especially back then in the early 80s, to have feelings for the same sex. Well, what happens, you know, to the psyche of a kid coming to that age, coming of age, and you know everyone around you who is their normal, you know, sex and everything, and they're all, you know, like all the boys are like checking out the girls, like oh, oh, oh. Even Angela gets a little admirer in Ricky's friend, like best friend in camp, and you know, yeah, you kind of start to see a little bit of a struggle with Angela, with her like feelings and everything, because once again, keep in mind, we don't obviously know this yet, but you know, she's very kind of like standoffish at times with him. It's kind of like, oh no, 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 I don't want to kiss you. You know, it's like, yeah, like she is definitely much more like, you know, not sure how to behave, how to act, how to feel, because technically this is another boy who is liking her, and she's a boy, but like she's like, well, am I supposed to like him back because I'm trying to be a girl? Like my aunt wants me to be a girl. Like, there's so much. Like there's so much, and I feel like I know I'm probably reading way too much into this, but I feel like um, with that, it's like this movie doesn't get enough credit for kind of like exploring that avenue. And once again, like I said, being done in the early 80s, it's not like a movie that was released now or like within the last like 15 years or so, being in a time period of the early 80s. It really doesn't get enough credit for kind of exploring that, like I said, of, like kids, coming of age and everything, and what's socially acceptable by society and everything. So I think we need to give this movie, especially like the first two movies, a little more credit in exploring that. Um, pretty groundbreaking work right there, and groundbreaking ideas. Like I said, that's my opinion. I know I'm probably reading way too much in it, but I just feel like I never hear people like talk about that, and I'm always like, am I the only one who thinks that about this movie? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys think about that too, about that kind of concept. Is it just me reading too much into it, or do you think that there was maybe a slight message, even if they weren't necessarily trying to convey that message? I'd like to know. I'd like to know. But yeah, so you guys, that was Sleepaway Camp, 1983 classic, right there. Um, so yeah, yeah. So go check this movie out. I don't know why I'm telling you guys to go check this out, because if you haven't seen it, I told you to turn it off like forever ago. Whatevers. Or recheck this movie out. If it's been a while for you guys, recheck this movie out. Fun little movie to watch. Fun. So yeah, go check it out. And until next time, my creepy peeps, my crazy peeps. You guys know the routine. As always, you guys stay classy and creepy. Creepy and classy, right? That's not what I usually say. Excuse the burpy burp. Um, anyway, sorry. So, as always, you guys stay creepy and classy, and as always, a little bit sassy. Woo. I squishy my head. I squishy my face. Squishing my face. So you guys stay creepy and classy and a little bit sassy as always. Till next time, you guys have a great weekend.